Welcome to the Rustic Garden. Today I want to talk about growing spaghetti squash. This might be a vegetable that you've never grown before. You may have heard of it. One of the interesting characteristics of the spaghetti squash is that when you cook it, you can bake it, you can boil it, you can steam it, you can grill it. But when it's done cooking in about 20 to 40 minutes, depending on how you prepare it, you can actually pull the meat of the vegetable out with a fork and it comes out like strands of spaghetti. It's a neutral tasting squash that does have some sweetness to it, but it really does take on the characteristics of whatever you're using to prepare it. You can actually just put spaghetti sauce on it and use it as a replacement to spaghetti. Some of the characteristics of the spaghetti squash is that it does get quite large. There are two plants in there and you can see that it's spreading across my whole railing. Here are some of the squash. That's a smaller one that hopefully it did get pollinated or it's on its way to getting pollinated. There's one down there that is growing nicely. They do get quite large. Let me see. I don't know if you can see down there is a squash forming. And here's one that I actually picked for my video series From Garden to Grill. When it's a good size, bigger than your hand, mostly yellow, it's ready to come off the vine. When you're growing spaghetti squash, you do have to keep them fed regularly. They do really take the nutrients out of the ground, so you want to use a liquid fertilizer. You want to prepare the ground a lot with compost or manure, whatever you might have around. It's also susceptible to squash bugs, so you want to check the underside of the leaves for the eggs. You do have to have some sort of spraying strategy to keep the insects off of it. But this plant's doing really well. It's green. I actually just treated it today for powdery mildew. I saw some spots coming on. So it does have some drawbacks depending on where your zone is. In my zone, it's always humid, it's always rainy, so I'm always dealing with squash bugs and I'm dealing with powdery mildew. But it is a great vegetable to have in your garden. It is not hard to grow if you have a strategy for maintaining the pests and if you have the time really to feed it and take care of it. It does also take a lot of water. But I highly recommend it. It's something that you can grow in your garden pretty easily, and it's a vegetable that sort of is a lot of fun in that it's just different. It's not cubes of squash like you're used to cooking. It's really strands of spaghetti, so to speak. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please check out my blog at www.therusticgarden.blogspot.com and hopefully you give spaghetti squash a try. Thanks.